Show, Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia of Ahluwalia Law Offices. Tune into their show between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Wednesday on 104.9 FM and ask her all your legal questions. Ms. Ahluwalia owns and operates Ahluwalia Law Offices PC. She received her law degree in 1996 from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, and also has a graduate degree in English Literature and Master of Philosophy in English Literature from the University of Punjab, Chandigarh in India. Ms. Ahluwalia is also a certified mediator and has served as an appointed mediator for Collin County Courts. In addition to regularly volunteering at legal aid clinics hosted by the Legal Aid of Northwest Texas, Ms. Ahluwalia serves as a legal advisor to Chetna, a non-profit organization working on issues related to domestic violence. She also spearheaded and participated in the inaugural annual legal aid clinic that was held to benefit the underprivileged South Asian community. Ms. Ahluwalia also served on the North American South Asian Bar Association's Executive Committee and is the founding president of the South Asian Bar Association of Dallas. Her speaking engagements have included being the speaker at the National South Asian Bar Association's annual conference, speaking at the conference held by the Texas chapter of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and a presenter to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce activities. She has been featured in Texas Lawyer magazine for an article on law firm ethics. Ms. Ahluwalia speaks English, Hindi, Urdu, and Spanish. Her office handles cases involving immigration and naturalization law, family law, business law, contract law, and civil litigation. She can be contacted directly at 972-361-0606 or pallavi@yourdesilawyer.com. This has been your weekly show.
All right, you are tuned into Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM, bringing the community together since 2002, and this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. Do want you all to call us right now if you have a legal question, anything about, employment and family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, or civil matters. Now is the time to call us. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio, ahluwalialaw.com is their website. And if you want to get in touch with Pallavi with your case or your matter, do call their front desk manager at 972-361-0606. And with that, do want to welcome Pallavi on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM. Good morning, Pallavi. Nice to see you always.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with Your Business Matters and to be hosting this with you, Meetu. I think we already have callers that have started to call us, and I can start taking calls without much further ado.
Okay, let's go to our first caller. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi, please.
Hey Pallavi, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So we applied for my wife's EAD renewal. And we got the receipt notice on July 1st.
Okay.
It's been close to 75 days. In the meantime, we also tried to expedite the request by calling USCIS, but both the requests were denied. And my wife's EAD already expired on August 18th. So, is there anything else we can do in this case?
Right. So at this point, the government has been running past the statutory 90 days. There was actually ombudsman's conference with stakeholders, which would pay anybody that could have dialed in, on the 31st of August. That spoke about the fact that they are running behind and they're trying to extend the time now to 6 months of processing. So now, is your wife, this is not the STEM extension for her, correct? This is not a STEM extension based, this is just an I-140 based EAD?
Yeah, this is the H-4 EAD.
Got it, okay. Yeah, so in that case, she can't even work with this pending.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait. The government is running behind past the 90 days. There have been several lawsuits because as of right now, the statute hasn't changed. They are obligated to turn it around in 90 days. So people are just getting it right at the 90th day or a few days over.
Okay, because I also checked the processing time for the Vermont Service Center on USCIS. It also says 90 days.
Correct.
So when it says
getting it right at the 90th day or a few days over.
Okay, because I also checked the processing time for the Vermont Service Center on USCIS. It also says 90 days.
Correct.
So when it says 90 days, there is a very good chance that we will be getting it around, 90 days plus or minus 1 week.
Correct. Yes. So they are not taking any requests for, a review for the case if it's running behind at the 75th day because they are saying that they're past the 90 days.
I see. Now, if we get a letter from her employer saying, she was a critical resource and
It is not based on. This is just processing queues. It's not based on merit at all. So you don't have to even go that route because it's not based on that review. The review is that they just can't cope up with the number of EADs.
I see.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
And one last thing. So I heard in the past that if I make an InfoPass appointment, would they be able to generate like an interim EAD while the application is pending, something like that?
You know, I've been hearing that. I have not seen the government say that they're doing that. I would not tell you not to try. Of course, if you have to, you just go and get an InfoPass and then come back on the air and tell us if that works or not, because the government is not promising that at all. But if it is that InfoPass is being able to, then that would be a resource for many, many people to go to InfoPass. But I know that they are not doing that as a policy.
Got it. So I have an InfoPass scheduled for next week. After that is done, I will let you guys know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so
All
much
right,
for your
take care.
best.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. And I would request for you to turn off your radio before you ask your question. All right. Seems like we dropped that call. Please call us back. 972-235-5555 is the number in the studio. Once again, this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And if you want to get in touch with her, the number to call would be 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hey, hi Pallavi. I have a question related to form. My first
972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hey, hi Pallavi. I have a question related to form. My first form, my employer has filed, and it has actually went to BALCA because of the educational experience and the H-4 mismatch, H-14 question mismatch.
Okay.
So now my employer is saying that we can file an alternate form, or we can file another form with an alternate position.
Correct.
While the first one is with BALCA.
Right.
So I'm wondering, what would be the chances that this form would go through? Because even if the position would be alternate, job responsibility is like 80% going to be saved.
Okay, so the way this works is BALCA has to be done just to keep something going for you, so that if you have to later get that time for your extension on your H-1B past the 6 years, it'll be useful. BALCA also doesn't come back and decide the case for 2 more years. Also, BALCA doesn't come out positively for most. There are very, very rare chances where it's going to overturn the Department of Labor's decision on the perm. Very, very rare. So it's an important thing to do the second perm. Having a different position, a future position which is different from the pending one under appeal is a good idea, because you cannot have 2 laborers file for the same position for the same beneficiary. That's the rule. Okay, so but even in this case, if the government were to come back when you have the perm file, I'm talking about perm number 2, and they were to come back and say if you want to withdraw one, you'll have to withdraw the first one. Okay, and just let this one continue. But having a different position, different job duties is a good idea if that obviously is bona fide. I always state that. But besides being bona fide, it should be something different from what you have under appeal currently.
Will that impact that if my same employer files for my firm for the second time, will that trigger for any RAPs or anything like that?
No, that's what I said. They have an option to request you to withdraw the BALCA appeal. They do. But that's the reason it's very, very important to have a different job profile, because then they can look at what was filed and what was audited, then denied, and then is under appeal, and that is different from what this employer is filing for you right now.
Okay, thank you so very much. Appreciate your response.
Of course, all the best to you.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and please ask your question.
I have a quick question. I have a 140 approved from a previous employer, and I'm on my probably 9th-year extension,
Sure.
H-1B extension.
Sure.
The new employer has filed a term, and he's going to file the 140 as well. My question is, if there's going to be a new extension, will there be a new ACWIA fee of $1,500? Because now I'm going to use. Now it's the second extension for the new company.
Okay, so let's just restate this. So it's just the second extension that is excused the fees. So you would be paying. So when we are talking about so you transferred once, right? And then you file an extension. Okay.
Yeah, I transferred once, and now I'm filing the extension for another 3 years.
Yeah, so that's in the government's opinion the first extension. The second extension is the one that would get the excuse on the fee.
Okay. Now here's a question though. If I go with new company's 140, will I still have to pay the Acquia fee?
Yeah, ACIWA fee. Okay, yes, that has no, so that is just the way that you're extending your status going past the 6 years or the 9 years in your case. Okay, right. That has nothing to do with the ACIWA fee. Okay, that is just per employer, per H-1B, and the judgment is based on whether this is your first, earlier on I'm talking about when this was announced about, I'd like to say about 8 years back, that time even the first extension would get them to excuse it, and then they came down and they announced that it was the second extension for which you didn't have to pay. So this is just the first extension, meaning you transferred once and now you extend it, and you're extending it right now. That's considered the first extension. For this case, you still have to pay the $1,500, and it has nothing to do with the I-140.
Oh, I mean, no, this case is a second extension, sorry.
Okay.
This case is a second extension now for the different company.
No. So again, there's a confusion about the I-140 being used as a reason to extend and the H-1B extension for the employer. It's not about how many times you've used the I-140 to extend. That may be 2 times or 3 times. That doesn't matter. We're talking about how many times have you extended with employer number 2. So if you so you transferred once, then you extended once, then now this will be a second extension. Then yes, you excuse the $1,500. But if you transferred one and this is your first extension after that transfer, whether you base it on I-140 or not, you have to pay that $1,500 fee.
Okay, I thought the first one when I transferred, that was a transfer and extension.
No. Yes, extension. Yeah, well, extension past the 6 years, but not an extension with the employer in the sense that the statute lays it out.
Okay.
All right.
So then now to shell out another, the company has to shell out another $1,500.
Yeah, you better not. That's not allowed.
Oh, absolutely. I know that.
All right. All the best.
All right, thank you so much. Going to our next caller, and we have very little time left, so let's try and see how many calls we can take on air. All right, going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for getting my call. My question is that I applied for my parents. I'm a citizen, but my mom came and she continued her status, but my father didn't. So should I start his process again, or what should I do? He can get any benefit from my mom.
Yeah, so I'm not understanding. So you applied for a green card for them?
Yes, ma'am. I am a citizen. I applied for my mom, both of my parents. Both came, but my father went back and he didn't come again. So his status.
Yeah. So here is a quick question: how long has he been out?
More than 2 years.
Okay, so is there any chance that he stayed back because of some illness or something he couldn't prevent and couldn't come in, or was it by choice? Okay.
Yes.
So there is a returning resident visa, which is Form DS-117. It is supposed to be filed at the consulate. It's a decision that the consulate makes. It is something that you can apply for. If there is proof that shows that he stayed involuntarily and it was not out of just his choice that he wanted to give up the green card, he does have an option. If it's just over 2 years, then he can just still try for that. Okay. So if he's just at that point, and if they refuse it, then you'll have to start that process again.
If they do the first one, how long it could take time for him to come here?
So it depends on the consulate, the country where where he's at, and what is the processing time currently there for appointments for DS 117. So before you apply, you won't know. So you have to submit the form and then you have to choose your appointments. So it's something, it's something that has to be done, but it requires a lot of proof. So you have to be careful as to what you present, and then take a chance with going to the consulate and asking for that DS 117 or returning resident visa.
Okay, ma'am. So there is nothing like 6 months or 1 year?
No, it will be 3-4 months. Within 3-4 months, I won't say that it should be running that far behind. 3-4 months at the latest, I would say, or whatever the appointment is available with them.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So Pallavi, we have really very little time left. Do you want me to take another call?
Yes, let's just take a quick call.
Okay. All right, you are our last caller and your question has to be really quick. We are running out of time.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I got my green card back in October 2011 and I changed my job after 3 months. I'm eligible for my citizenship now and just wanted to ask if you anticipate any problems during my interview.
No, so you're talking about how long were you with that employer from where you got your green card?
6 years and then I got my green card.
Okay, sounds good. So you did show the bona fide intent of you staying with that employer by being with that employer for at least 6 years, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so it should not matter. So let me just state one thing. At this point, I have not seen the government come back and do that review as to how long you were there and what was your source of the green card. However, the length of employment that you had for 6 years would hold you in that thing of, or that argument that you were in a bona fide relationship with that petitioner.
Okay.
All right? So it should be okay.
Okay.
All
I
right.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
All right. Thank you so much for all your calls and thank you, Pallavi, as always, for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Meetu, and I promise to patch in on Friday and let's do another 15 minutes or 30 minutes to answer more questions. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.